Two incidents of murder-suicide in Northeast Ohio in just the last 48 hours, devastating our local communities. 2025 has already been called the most lethal year for domestic violence homicides in Ohio. That is according to a recent report from the Ohio Domestic Violence Network. Sarah Goldenberg looks into how often this happens and who is most likely to suffer.
Wednesday evening, two children and two men shot and killed in Tiffin. Their mom wasn't physically hurt, but police said she was clearly in a state of shock, overwhelmed, and visibly traumatized. That same evening in Stark County, someone found an elderly couple dead in a possible murder-suicide, according to the sheriff. So 19 Investigates dug into the numbers to find out how often this tragic crime is happening. According to the Violence Policy Center, no comprehensive national database or tracking system exists when it comes to murder-suicides in the United States. They analyzed news reports of murder-suicides and found nearly 1,200 Americans die in murder-suicides each year, and estimated there are 10 of them nationwide each week. According to this recent study published in the National Library of Medicine, operated by the federal government, between the years 2016 and 2022, in the 30 states with complete reporting, about 5,700 deaths were involved in murder-suicides, an average of 820 deaths per year during that time period. Researchers also found firearms were the primary weapon used in the homicides and suicides 90% of the time. And a suspect's spouse, a girlfriend or boyfriend, and a child were most likely to die at their hands. Here in Ohio, over 1